USC Trojans football, presented by Pechanga Resort and Casino, kicks off in 2 hours. But the tailgating, that starts now. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
Throw to Mario Williams. Jitterbugs at the 15. Gets away at the 10. Down to the 5. Into the end zone. Celebrate with the song, girls, kid. Touchdown, USC!
Brought to you by Yeti. We make the gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. By SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. By Dos Equis, a proud partner of USC Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And by Pechanga Resort and Casino, proud partner of USC football. And now, here are your Trojan Tailgate Show hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, and Max Brown.
Hello and welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We are live inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on a Friday night. The stage is all ours, getting you set for USC versus Colorado. I am Jordan Moore. That is Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. Gang's all here. 4 of us getting you ready for the penultimate home game of the 2022 season, a season that's seen USC start 8-1, guys. They're number 8 in the country, and yet everyone's still a little bit cranky, but it's not because of the offense, Sean. The offense picks it up and puts it down every single week. Another 40-plus performance last week for the Trojans. They kind of started slow offensively against Cal, but, man, they figured it out.
Yeah, no one started with their hair on fire last week, offensively or defensively, but offensively they figured it out as the game went along, and usually that means Caleb Williams comes to life, and Caleb Williams once again comes to life, making spectacular plays all over field, even without his number 1 and 2 receiver, going out there and finding new guys, creating new superstars for the Trojans. So once again, Caleb Williams is showing why he's in that candidate race for the Heisman possibly, and just another great performance.
I'm never actually worried about this offense. I don't care if they don't score. They could go, I think, a whole quarter without scoring, and I'm like, we'll still put up 40 points. Like they'll have 3 or 4 touchdowns in the quarter. That's just how explosive the offense is. You know, a plethora of playmakers from the running back room to the receiver room. You know, it's an embarrassment of riches where USC can, you know, really experiment on offense and get deep into that Lincoln Riley playbook that Max talks so much about.
And Lincoln Riley, I like his press conference both after the game and then during the bye week. He was basically like, Trojan fans, you guys got to check yourself in terms of we're right where we want to be. We've only lost 1 game, and I respected it because the previous head coaches here, I don't think would have had the confidence and the footing to say a comment like that. And I think we're all in that camp if we know how good this defense can be. But at the end of the day, a 1-loss team in mid-November with everything still ahead of us, you got to like where we're at.
Yeah, these are rich people's problems. We didn't have these a year ago. that is for sure. And
we was Section 8 last year.
Lincoln Riley's a big part of it. Max Caleb's a big part of it. I mean, 15 touchdowns over the last 3 games that he's accounted for, 14 of those through the air, and he ran 1 in last week as well, 5 a week. He is just putting up video game numbers right now.
Video game numbers, and honestly the most impressive stat for me is the continued no interceptions as well, because that's how you're going to lose ball games, especially when it's 1-score game or a lesser team's hanging around. A turnover is what gives them momentum and allow them to come back into the game. We have not seen that, and Sean and I talked about it in Trojan Live. There's a few throws there that he missed last week. All right, he's human, but there's also some throws that if NFL scouts are put on the film, which we'll break down in a couple segments of, hey, this dude is special, and he showed out all year long.
And to explain what Max just said in video game terms, I have the sticks and the game is on like rookie, and I'm just scoring every single time I press X and B and Y because that's how good Caleb has been. It's a video game. It's like it doesn't matter. Ground, passing, he's going to get it done. That's why I'm not really worried about this offense.
And even if he misses some throws, they're not poor decisions where the missed throw leads to a pick.
No.
And they're not even close to picks. Like, it's not even one of those seasons where you go, wow, he has 1 interception. I mean, there have been 5 that have quietly been dropped. I don't remember anyone that was sort of dropped. He doesn't have a lot of passes deflected, so we sort of take some of the luck element out of it. Yeah, he misses some throws, but they're off on the sideline. You go win the next play.
Yeah, it's a complete mastery of the situation, knowing where he can miss, knowing where he can go with the ball. I'm sure Max can speak to all of that quarterbacking, but it's just knowing all that at such a young age, being able that mature to not just force things in there. You can't force him into a bad decision. He'll make the right decision, whether it's run or pass or not squeeze one in there. it's really been special. But to speak to what Lincoln Riley has been talking to, I mean, imagine last year when we were at the Cal game. I mean, 2 years.
Oh my God.
2 years of different Cal games, right? We win a Cal game at home and we're sad. But last year at Cal game, that was the bottom. I mean, me and you were in the booth, and it was probably the bottom of Trojan football. We were sad. We could barely feel the team that day. Get up there to Cal and get our butts whooped, and that's how it ended. So to see the whole 180 this team has done from one Cal game to the next year's Cal game has been pretty immaculate.
You guys have a favorite Michael Jackson song?
I'm a Smooth Criminal kind of guy. I like Smooth Criminal.
Oh, that is perfect timing, then, Sean. It's already up on the screen. We took a poll this week. We said which Michael Jackson song speaks to the performance that Michael Jackson put out there, and the fans went with Smooth Criminal, and they found another one. I mean, this is a decade now of just incredible wide receiver play, and even with Jordan Addison and Mario Williams down, it hasn't skipped a beat at all. Taj Washington's been fantastic, but Sua, I really like the look of Michael Jackson III. He's a guy that can explode after the catch. Yeah. What I was impressed with, he made 2 great diving catches on the run. He showed up some good hands as well to go with, obviously some great physical gifts.
Yeah, Smooth Criminal, because he's out there snatching folks' ankles. Like on that screenplay, I didn't realize he could be that quick and then get up the field like this. Let his blockers set up the block and just go. Like, I didn't know he had that burst. So, again, an embarrassment of riches in the receiver room. You don't know what you're going to get from this Lincoln Riley offense. Todd, you mentioned Taj. He was an All-American at Memphis, and he doesn't get enough looks that he deserves.
Get the block. Oh,
so, this team is just made up of playmakers.
I'm going to throw a name out there that Sue and I play with. Reminds me of George Farmer a little bit. Yeah, years back. A sneaky, like 200-pound receiver right there. I don't know if he's got the top-end speed, but I'll say this. Last week was the first week where I felt like there were third-down scenarios where you're still trying to attack a slot receiver, and those are the scenarios where you're missing your outside guys, and you're missing a little bit of Jordan Addison where, hey, you need a guy to go out and make a play, and you can't just scheme a guy open. I felt like those scenarios came about last week where a lot of the action was scheming guys up right in the middle of the field, like the field was instead of 52 yards wide, it was more 40 yards wide. I think we need to get back to, really attacking the outside lanes, and it speaks to what Lincoln Riley talked about of needing more at that X position, maybe missing another guy, but don't get me wrong, there's all sorts of weapons still out there.
Yeah, good news. Jordan Addison is expected back here tonight. Sean, just a quick on the offensive line. It's been the same 5, 6, 7 guys all season. They are shuffling them around a little bit. How's Mason Murphy holding up? He started at left tackle last week.
Yeah, some good stuff, some bad stuff. I mean, you get a left tackle. That's the money-making position. That's where you want to be at. So they're trying to try him out over there. They're going to look at all these guys, but you keep the 3 core guys together. I believe that this can be a special offensive line. It's been a struggle at tackle sometimes this year. If you really watch what's going on the outsides, you've seen some guys getting beat, but they're figuring out. It's still a little bit young, but those core guys inside have been strong all year, and those are the guys who this team's really carried by.
Yeah, Bobby Haskins and Cortland Ford both suited up last week, so we'll have to sort of wait till the game starts to see what the actual 5 that lines up to begin the game for the Trojans, but they do have a future player there in Mason Murphy. Today's game is presented by United Airlines, and we'd love for you to be a part of it, so use the hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show. If you're watching us on Twitter right now, use the hashtag Trojan Tailgate Show, and you can jump in and we will answer your questions as the show goes on. Next up, we're going to talk about that defensive performance. That's what everyone's been talking about all week. We'll break it down next. The Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
If we handle this like I think we will, we got a real shot.
All that matters is this moment. Right here, right now, on this field, it's so proper. We don't wait around, we don't play around, we don't go in some roundabout way of doing things. What that means is you come out swinging right now.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
Alas, the ship rise to the morning. You know it's calling, me back home, put down the sorrow and dance to me.
Old Dominion Freight Line is the official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. Sunset at the Coliseum on Veterans Day night, and you see the American flags there, and the Trojans are out warming up behind us in some special camo gear they're breaking out for Veterans Day. We, of course, thank and appreciate all the veterans who served this country, make playing games like this possible, allow us to do what we love to do. So we thank all our engineer right here, Ben Conroy, served in the Navy. So we thank everyone that's a part of it, and always proud to play here on Veterans Day. There'll be a big flag unfurled too before the game too. So there should be some cool stuff. I actually heard the band playing some patriotic songs. I think they have a patriotic halftime show. I heard the Top Gun Maverick theme. I think that might be part of the halftime show. That should be pretty good. That should be pretty good. All right, guys, we got to talk about the defense here. Such a weird game. They allow a touchdown, then they get 7 consecutive stops, and then they allow 4 consecutive touchdowns. Explain that to me.
Yeah, rough. I mean, just the way the game started, the first 5 plays of the game, I mean, Cal just comes out, looked like they were maybe a top 5 offense in the country when they are not. It was just a rough start from there, and then it kind of got better, right? They kind of they found a way. They found their legs out there on defense. They got some stops on third down, and then the second half kind of happens, and a double move here, a blown coverage there, some third downs that you should not have given up, and then the game just starts. Cal starts creeping back in it, making it interesting at the end with the onside kick. So defensively, not something you're proud of in that game. A lot of things to work on, and especially at this time of year, you'd like to see a better defense in that, Sua.
Yeah, no, Cal just found the fish is what we'd call it. We find the fish, you find the mismatch, and Cal tried to establish that run offense we thought we'd see, but instead they found success in the pass game, and they kind of stuck with it. And I think when USC got back on their feet and finally got some stops in the second half, Cal said, okay, well, if our first option isn't there, maybe if we just extend this play maybe a second or 2 more, this defense will not just bend, it'll break. And as the game progressed, we saw the DBs not being able to make plays down the field. We saw a few guys get undisciplined in their technique and leverage and get beat on plays that they easily should have covered. So Cal just kind of hung around. We allowed them to hang around, and once they found the fish, they found the mismatch, they attacked it the entire second half. And you can see by how the difference in the offensive to rushing stats.
And Max, that's what stood out to me is the red zone defense didn't show up. So, as much as they gave up the yards, they've been doing that at times this season. The points came with it, 5 touchdowns in 5 red zone trips.
Yeah, to me what sticks out, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword in that a lot of the movement up front and movement in the back end, it's great when it's hitting and you're mixing up coverages, but when it's not hitting and you see the plays that do bust, you're having guys, if you pause the film, you're having guys just cover grass and cover space, and you're not having guys align, which speaks to, 1, maybe a deeper defensive playbook, but 2, a lot of new faces in there, getting used to a newer scheme, and it'll be interesting to see in the back end, do they condense that playbook? Do they do a little less shifting and motion in? We'll see.
A lot of dime last week. You're putting a bunch of smaller defensive backs out there. Tackling issues sort of come along with that?
Yeah, Sua knows the back end better than me. I mean, I sometimes I'm watching the film and I'm like, is he supposed to be doing that, Sua? I don't think he's supposed to be doing that.
I mean, dime backer is basically your base defense, except your Mike linebacker is now a safety, and it's supposed to be your biggest safety who can not only play the run, but he can play pass from that position. That's what you do when you have an offense that has either a scrambling quarterback or an RPO that you're worried about. You don't want your big guys moving side to side. That's kind of Utah's weakness. That's kind of a lot of SEC teams' weakness, which is why they lose to teams like Texas A&M or what what we saw in Tennessee, because there are teams with RPO option and a scrambling quarterback. In case everybody hasn't noticed yet, I've been preaching it all year. USC's biggest nightmare is a scrambling quarterback. So dime linebacker should have been something that was implemented way back in camp, because if we're trying to learn how to play it now, a week before we play DTR and the Bruins, it's going to be a problem.
It wasn't even a scrambling quarterback last week.
No, it wasn't.
To me, some of the run game issues are when you are slanting your defensive front, they're committing to a gap right away, and you're relying on a backer coming over the top or a nickel player coming over the top and making that tackle, and we don't have our starters there in that position. And so as a result, you're seeing guys get beat, seeing holes be open, and tackles that should be made aren't necessarily happening.
Yeah, every defensive back we just put up on the screen weighed 180 pounds or less, it looked like, from what I was looking at, so it's not a huge group. Yeah. Tuli Tuipulotu, though, is playing at an All-American level, Sean. 2 more sacks for him. He leads the nation in sacks.
Yeah, he just keeps doing it week in, week out. The problem is he needs some help. He needs another guy to step up and take some of that weight off his shoulders. He's a great player who can go out there and make plays for you. Here he just gets up and just playing football, right? Sometimes it's not all about the moves or how pretty it is. It's about just getting after it, and that's what Tuli does. He gets after it every play. He's going to bring it to you. He's going to force you to try to block him, and he gets after you. But if you could add another consistent rush from another rush in, that's what Alex Grinch just talked about, is adding that next player who can kind of step up, getting that production from that rush in spot where you can take some of that load off Tuli, and then you can have 2 guys kind of working. If you can bring that really puts offenses in binds, because then they have to account for both you guys. Can't just turn to Tuli every time and try to get the chip and the back to him and every other guy to try to block him. So it's really about getting that next guy going, and that's what this defense can take a next step in.
Tuli Tuipulotu has the most tackles for loss by a Trojan in a season since
Tua Cravens.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of games to go, Suey. He's going to get you.
Man, we got to check those stats, man. We got to check those stats. I could have swore I had at least 20-something. I don't know.
He's got Colorado tonight. He may get a couple more out here.
He's going to break the record tonight.
You can go out there and congratulate him for passing it. All right, up next, Max is going to give us the offensive game plan. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Hot chicken more than my friend Sam. And this juicy, hot, spiced to order Dave's hot chicken would have been his favorite of all time if it wasn't for his other passion, driving with his head out the sunroof.
Stick your head out, Wiggles!
Wiggles, no! Please don't mess up and die before you eat Dave's.
May the right company turn any lake into a great lake. May true friendship be found in hard-to-reach places. May the toughest part of your day be deciding which arm to carry the cooler with. May you ditch malt-based hard seltzers for one with real vodka and real juice. And may high noon not just be a time of day, but the perfect way to enjoy it. High noon, sun's up.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
I know you've been doing a good job of using less water at home, but it's time to step up our efforts and conserve even more. Check out the various rebates and programs at ladwp.com/save. That's ladwp.com/save. Let's do this, LA. Welcome back inside the Coliseum. Jordan Moore, Sean, Cody Stewart, Cravens, and Max Brown getting you set for USC versus Colorado on a Friday night. And it's time now for our offensive game plan with Max Brown.
Hot route. Red 7, red 7, red 7.
I don't know what red 7 means.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
We talked about it. Our quarterback is balling this year. There's 6 Heisman Trophy jerseys behind me. A secret little 7th one there. And our quarterback is trying to make it 8 this year, and he's right in the thick of things. And throws like this are why he's in the thick of things. He's making it look easy, but it's not. And as we roll the tape, this is 4th and 5 right here. You got to come up with a big-time throw. He's making this look easy. He's got a little seam route to his right, pressure to his left, pressure up into his face. He steps up into it and absolutely delivers a strike, while also processing the fact that there's a seam route adjusting on that receiver. That's a new receiver right there. That's Bynum. That's not a guy he's played a lot of football with, but pulling the trigger right there. Second throw. This is another one. We've been calling him Houdini all season long. Well, this is Exhibit A of what Houdini looks like. It's 27-34. Cal's now in contention. Got to come up with a big-time throw. Good coverage. They've got him surrounded in the pocket. Where's he going to go? Credit Cal's defensive line for making that rush. He flushes to his right. And then right here, he's got another new receiver, Michael Jackson, working down the right sideline. This is just playing ball right here. Taking another hit, throwing your receiver down the line. You don't practice this. This isn't a design route, but it's an absolute dime. It's a 35-yard strike while getting forced to your right. So throws like this, I sense myself watching the film, and it's like, oh, of course, we just picked up the first down. That's not normal. Those are NFL-level throws. Those are throws that are keeping this USC offense on the field, and especially in scenarios like that where those are more moments when maybe a Cal can stick around. And if we had just, instead of a box office quarterback and just a good quarterback, you're off the field in those scenarios. You allow Cal to get the ball and maybe a different thing happens. It hasn't happened this year because Caleb Williams has been that good.
What stood out to me too about that first play, it's 4th and 5. They went up quick, and they draw him off with a hard count, too. So they're going to get that first down out of the way. He's processing the mental side of playing quarterback so well. I think it's so easy to just go, oh, he's blessed with incredible physical tools. He is a complete football player.
There's a lot we're taking for granted with Caleb Williams, and I catch myself doing it every broadcast. I'm just like, oh, he just did another fantastic play, and you'll have to reel me in like, Sean, that was spectacular. Like, you should mention that. Like, oh yeah, never mind. But just showing me every week why he's been worth all the hype that came around him, everything that surrounded him. We've talked extensively about his NIL deals and everything, but there's a reason. This young man plays football, and he's about his business. It's not any show about it. He comes out here, he works hard, his teammates respect him, he's a leader, and he's been everything that the Trojan fans have asked for.
Yes. So I'm curious now at the wide receiver position, what do you think happens? Because this group has stepped up, and now you're going to get Addison back tonight. We'll see about Mario Williams. If not, it sounds like he's probably a go for next week. You're now going into the 2 big games, and you've got a lot of options, but maybe some hard choices.
Yeah, if it were me, if I were the coach, Jordan and Mario wouldn't be playing regardless. I don't think we need them tonight. There's a few guys I would keep out, but you know, it is what it is. If they're going to play, they're going to play, and the rotation will go back to what it normally is. But there are a lot of questions. Who's the number 3? We had a lot of questions about that maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now we don't know at all.
A lot of guys number 3.
I don't know who to tell you. You can go Taj Washington if you want him in the slot for quick bubbles. You can go Michael Jackson, who can play outside and stretch the field and take the double team off. You know, so it's just, you got Kyron Hudson, who we haven't seen in a few weeks, who was balling whenever he gets the opportunity. So you just don't know what you're going to get, but it's a good problem.
Were you a rust guy? Did you need to knock off rust? Like, say if you were on an extensive layoff and I've always felt like I needed to get back out there in the groove. Practice wasn't enough for me. I needed to get in the game and start doing it.
Stewart took all of 2 practices to be a full-time starter. So
that's not true.
Bro didn't need any rust. He was 18 years old starting.
I was definitely. I don't need to warm up to get to the.
You can just jump right into it.
Because that is the question. Is it worth giving a guy 20, 25 snaps tonight so he's not out there and he drops the ball against UCLA and that's a huge play?
It's different if you're coming off injury, like a ACL or Achilles, and you haven't ran or did anything 100% in the last 6 months. That's different. But you just played a few weeks ago. I think you'll be okay next week.
Sean, a guy you've talked about on the broadcast a bunch, it seems like they're trying to get Raleek Brown going as one more piece to add to this offense.
Yeah, you can see, man, the young man's frustrated. You know, if you play at that kind of level in high school, you expect to make the big plays, man, and you could see how frustrated he is. He wants to snap a big one off. It's just not there. Last week he's trying to force that one on the left side, thinks he's going to swing it all the way back around. I mean, it's just a typical high school school player that wants to. In high school, that play, hey, take it around the side, it'll work. But the young man has got it. He just has to wait his turn and try to find it.
I might be known as the negative Nancy on the show, but I feel like we wasted his freshman year. I feel like we could have.
Hey, it's not over yet.
I think it's been hard with Travis Dye, the way he's playing and what he can do provides for you. I think Lincoln feels comfortable with him pass protecting, and he feels a lot more comfortable giving the ball. He knows he's going to get those 3 or 4 yards.
With Travis Dye coming and Austin Jones coming, I would have had the confidence to say, okay, I'm a redshirt, or let him play 2 or 3 games and then redshirt him so that the next year he can get all those All-American honors and freshman All-American so that he can build his,
nobody
the
gets
momentum.
redshirted anymore. That's the thing. You're right, but nobody gets redshirted anymore because they're worried people are going to transfer and they, guys leave early, so it's like doesn't even matter if you can save that year anymore.
Huh?
Yeah, they just never even think about it.
And to me, 2 of the drives where SC did get hung up, one was when they were targeting Raleek twice in a row. Caleb misses it, and then the second one, I thought he tried to force it to Raleek, and that's where this offense, there's no forcing in this offense. Whoever's the open guy, go to them, and then Sean mentioned it, the run as well, where he's maybe trying to do too much. It's the fine line of if you have a small package and you're only getting the ball twice in a game, you might try to do too much, and that's not what this offense is. It's, hey, take what the defense gives you, play within the system, and that's going to be the challenge as a play caller trying to get 14 involved.
All right, got to wrap this up. We're headed to the defensive game plan next. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Wow, we're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
The fully electric Audi e-tron family is here. With models that fit any lifestyle and innovative ways to make your e-tron your own. Through elegant design and progressive technology, all the exhilaration, none of the compromise. The Audi e-tron family. Progress that moves you.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
Trojan fans, get ready for game day and shop the Ralph's app for all your fresh tailgating faves. Ralph's is a proud partner of USC Athletics. As you can see on our stream, the Coliseum torch will be lit for all 4 quarters tonight in honor of Veterans Day. So pretty cool to have it burning from start to finish. Trojans hopefully bring that same fire for 4 quarters. The people that always bring fire around here, Sewell Cravens and Sean Cody. Time to run it back with our defensive game plan.
Everyone knows defense wins championships. And a Trojans victory will require a solid defensive game plan.
Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense!
This is the USC Trojans defensive game plan. Brought to you by LifeLaw. Injury law made simple.
Okay, so I know I'm the negative Nancy on the show. I've accepted that title, and I'll embrace it. It is what it is. USC's defense has not played up to par. You've heard me sing it all season long, and you're going to hear me sing it some more. The song is not over because, again, we saw another lackluster performance last week, especially in the second half from this Trojan defense. Now, let's just talk about something as simple as this. Tackling and effort are two things that can be fixed right now. Not recruiting, nothing outside of this USC defense we need to concern ourselves with. There are two things that we do, tackling and effort. And there are a few plays just on the first drive of the game I'm going to show you from last week what I'm talking about. Do your job. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about the next man. You don't need to worry about the safety if you're a corner. You don't need to worry about the linebacker if you're a DN. Do your job. This first play, it is 1st and 10. Vegas literally takes parlays to bet what you think the first play of the game will be. Is it run or is it pass? On 1st and 10, you don't know. So your end should not rush up the field like it's a pass play on that, leaving Shane Lee all by himself late to his run fit, and a 15 to 20 yard gain because we're playing 1st and 10 as if it's 3rd and 15. That's situational awareness. On this play, it's either cover 1 or cover 3. Either way, you're 10 yards off and you're inside leverage away from your safety. You would always want to line up outside leverage, push all routes back to your post safety. Instead, we're undisciplined in our coverage. We don't get hands on the receiver even though we're a college football player and we are allowed to touch guys. He gets up the field untouched for another chunk play. In the red zone, we have a pirate stunt up top. The DN's going to loop down into that C gap. Shane Lee is now the D gap player, which makes CV the return player, the nail player. Shane is the hammer. CV, do your job. All you have to do is wait and be inside, but instead he overruns his gap, runs into Shane. Now we have 2 people in the gap, and an easy 1 yard gain turns into a touchdown for Cal because we're not doing our job. I didn't mention skill, I didn't mention speed, I didn't mention anything other than the playbook they all know and the effort in tackling. You bring that and we are issue free at the moment, but so far we haven't put a full game together where we're practicing the things we practice in technique and discipline and being those Trojans I know we can be. It gets better now, tonight. Do your job.
Yeah, so it was a rough first drive, but then it got a little better. I mean, if I could be a little bit of ray of sunshine in the darkness of our defense right now, it did get a little bitter for a while. You know, that second and third quarter, it seemed like the team started to figure it out a little bit. The first drive, 5 plays, awful, right? The second, it's only. But then you look at the second half, they only have 14 points. We give up a big one on the sideline. Sierra Wright gets beat on the sideline play, and they get a touchdown. So they got 14 points. And if you play defense and you give up 14 points, that's a good night. But then, guys, it fell apart after that. We were up 20 points. It looked like that one is in the ringer. Run these plays here. This is the first one here. Just a bad play. Just bad eyes. It's 14 to 34 at the time, so you're winning by 20 points. Just stay back and stay in front of the ball. That's what you have to do on the back end. Don't give up the big play. Right here we have 2 guys. They take the bait here. It's Kalen Bullock.
Eyes by Kalen.
Yeah, and just looking at the guy who's waving his arms up top. So it was definitely a bad play there, and it hits on the top route. It's over the top. 2 guys take 1 guy. And there he is, the magic bullet right there over the top. Plummer hits another big one to add to his 400, and that kind of started the train rolling for the Trojans there. That easy one given up right there was obviously a terrible play to go, but then you get to the next one here, and now we scored another touchdown, so we're still up 20, so we're still, it's 34-21. They drive down again, and you break down this one with Jake Plummer. He's getting ready, and it's just a little swing pass out to the running back, right? So this is 3rd down. You get a chance for them to kick a field goal or for them to go for it on 4th down. Just come up and tackle. You got outside leverage here. Turn this thing back to your defense. Bring it all home. Make them kick. Make them go for 4th down. Instead, no one brings them down, and the play drags out. 1st down, 1st and 3. That's going to be a score for the Cal there. So you got this bad tackling there, bad angles. You got to come up and tackle the ball. That's all you have to do in this defense. You keep everything behind you, especially when the score is where it's at. Then we scored another touchdown, and now we're still up by 20. So hey, don't fret. Keep everything in front of you guys. Not a big deal. They come off on the edge, and here's a little play, just a little jump over the middle. We have how many guys here? You can count them at 1, 2, 3 guys, right? How can this guy get to the side? There's no possible way.
Triangle tackle.
There's no possible way this guy should be able to get to the sideline. J9's able to get to the sideline there and pick up over 20 yards right there on a little single dump down over the middle. You can't do it, guys, and it just keeps showing up over and over again. And most of them were on 3rd down, and they're picking up these 3rd downs in the second half. And right here, you just get beat inside. Can't let it happen. Obviously, you're on an island there, so you have some trouble. You know you need some help from the inside player there, but McCutcheon there, he's struggling to keep that inside leverage, just play after play you watch in the second half. It's third downs, and you need to come up with the big play. We just haven't had that big player, and part of it is Eric Gentry being out. He's kind of that guy who's been able to hold down the middle, but play after play on third down, you got to find a way out there to get off the field. If you don't get off, you're in trouble.
I thought you were the Ray of Sunshine guy. Did you say you were the Ray of Sunshine guy?
I started
the segment,
Ray,
but I'm going to be Ray of Sunshine guy.
Cloudy day.
Man. It is what it is. And that first
dark.
play, Kalen, I saw you. That was bad eyes. The slot did not block.
You and Kalen have a real relationship on this show.
Kalen,
I don't know.
That slot did not block.
I wanted to ask Sua what was wrong on that.
Sua talks to Kalen through the show every week.
Oh, bro. Oh, that's
something about
watching the stream in the locker room.
We're going to talk about it. $100. $100. I'm going to need it paid for it. $100.
I don't even want to know about it. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk to this week's impact player. Back on the offensive side, I talked to Taj Washington. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Tommy Trojan.
Did I mention Smart Stop Self Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day? So we see everything. Everything.
Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC. What I like most about athletic is that I can worry about my body and still go out and socialize, have fun with friends, and feel fresh and focused still.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate.
It's the least we can do.
When the stadium lights are dimmed, when the cameras stop flashing, when the pads are off, the pressure sinks in and it's just me in a world of expectation. Nobody can carry that alone. But pressure doesn't have to be carried alone. What if we came together as a team? Embrace talking openly about our mental health.
If we reached out, checked in.
Seize the awkward.
Imagine what we could do.
Magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at Terranea.com. There we are behind the end zone, saying hello to the Sky Cam. Sua breaking it down. And Max with a salute on Veterans Day. Yeah.
Now I feel like a jerk.
Oh.
Thanks.
Gotta respect
Thanks,
it.
Max. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. It's time now to hear from our impact player, Taj Washington.
The Impact Player of the Week. Brought to you by Terranea Resort.
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at Terranea.com.
Let's go! And now the Impact Player of the Week.
I'm here with this week's impact player, and it's Taj Washington off of back-to-back 100-yard games. Taj, where have you been able to find the consistency to produce week in and week out?
Just being sound with my assignments and being at the right place at the right time goes to all the work put in, like through practice and just repetition and having it all play out in the game.
You know, I brought this up on the broadcast last week. You're not new to producing. You came here because you were producing at your previous school, so you've done this before. What's been the adjustment to stepping up the level to doing it at USC?
Just taking my mental to another level, knowing that I got the physical tools to go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. But just being assignment sound and knowing conceptually what we're trying to do, just knowing the game plan, asking the tough questions that I need to ask, and definitely help with my growth to make big plays here.
What's been like the last couple of weeks without Jordan Addison, without Mario Williams? This receiving core has stepped up, you in particular, but we've seen Mike Jack sort of come out of nowhere and be great. Kyle Ford had a big game, lots of guys producing. What does that do for the room as a whole?
It just helps the room. Like, we all competitors. We love to compete. So just with that, like, it's pushing everybody to get better. And throughout the weeks, throughout camp, everybody just continuously been able to get better, and then once game time comes, everybody has the opportunity to make those plays.
It's crazy. This offense has been fantastic. It feels like you guys put up 42 at least every single game, and yet this still feels like there's more meat on the bone. There's more of a ceiling to get to. Now that the games get bigger and bigger here in November, how do you reach that next level that will ultimately get you guys in the championship games you want?
Definitely just improvement, just forgetting about what we've done previous up to getting to where we are now. Just finding little ways to get better, just minute details, just going about preparation, recovery, anything you can get better at.
That's Chef Taj. He'll be looking to cook tonight against Colorado. Thanks so much. Taj Washington was somebody's pick for best of the game last week. Anyone know?
I had Thule.
That's 2 in a row, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to litigate this later, the Thule versus Taj showdown. But Chef Taj, Sean, is
Wait, it says Taj Washington Sua picked him.
Yeah, oh, there
that's
it is.
2 in a row,
it's
I
right
believe.
there in your script.
Yeah, it's written.
We can chalk that up. And
Sua did make a point that I've also been making, which is Taj didn't come out of nowhere. Taj was like a freshman All-American at Memphis and just wasn't really utilized the right way last year, but this should be a little bit maybe less surprising than some of the guys that have sort of been stepping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's been great, and it's every position. You see him on special teams working, man. You can see that Lincoln loves him. As soon as he came in, he identified that this guy's going to play hard for us, and he's going to do the small things that this team needs. He's been the guy when the two big receivers were out. Taj just stepped up his play. He's caught everything for him. Just a nice young man too. He seems like a likable human being.
And he can cook.
Yeah,
and he can cook.
Chef Taj. He did. He had 3 100-yard games at Memphis, and then. They also got the tight end going last week, Max, and that's a friendly thing, particularly in the red zone. USC's been such a good red zone offense this year. They're 8th in the nation in TD percentage, and when you can get tight ends involved, they've done it with Epps this year, and they got Lake McCree back and got him in the end zone last week. Follows had a couple touchdowns, too. That just gives you another weapon, particularly when things get tight.
And you said it, yeah, especially in the red zone. They're utilizing a lot of empty formations out in the field, and that's all great when you're there, but things empty's a lot harder when you're getting to the 10 and 5-yard line and close to the end zone. And back to Taj, too. I guess we'll hang on Lake McCree a little bit. Yeah, that's been a go-to play right there, is that play action and then leaking out Lake McCree into the flat, because that playbook condenses as well down the red zone. But one little comment on Taj Washington. I mean, that's not easy. He's a freshman All-American at Memphis, bets on himself to come to USC. Then a new staff comes in here, bets on himself again, beats out a Gary Bryant, who a lot of us thought that he might be that third guy up, or the rollover guy that would find himself a role, and it hasn't been the case. He's stayed grinding, and his opportunities come.
Yeah, I think we all were kind of surprised in the first game of the season, like the first drive, Taj had 2 catches right away or something, and it was like, oh, wow, Lincoln likes Taj. We sort of didn't know that, and it's sort of gone that way, and I think Lincoln has said on our show on Trojans Live, he's one of the best players in our team, or he's one of our team MVPs. I mean, he speaks really highly of Taj, and it's not just what he does with the football in his hands. He loves him as a blocker and just a selfless player. All right, it's time to rate that fit, boys. The guys are out there in their camo warm-ups now, but what did they show up in? Ooh, there's the head ball coach going with a little denim look tonight.
Great picture. That's a wonderful picture, man.
He took the jacket off, must have put it in the locker. He's still got the white dress shirt on as we speak. He's right behind me.
I like it. Yeah, he's out here on the field. I don't remember him always being on the field.
Denim week.
Denim Friday.
Oh.
He watched Top Gun right there.
Shout out Levi's.
Yeah, we got a little denim top on top. This is our weekly Roy Manning pick, guys. He is most GQ coach on the staff. No question about it.
That's giving Denzel right there.
Wow, I like the quarterback's fit this week.
That Carhartt? What do we got there?
Nah, he's above.
That's not my style. That's like a Kanye style right there. I can't pull off those boots. I can't do it.
Yeah, I like it. Oh my God, that's your style.
Champ.
That's AB right
the
there.
People's champ. He's got the all black forces.
Looks like,
It's
like Marty McFly back to the
and he's
future.
got the shirt tuck in.
Ooh, shout out to SBs.
I think
So what
that's
is this?
Prophet Brown.
Yeah, what?
Mask on. He coming to take everything. What you mean, Max?
Okay, then we can't give up 35 points today.
You're right.
I
agree. We're tired
No
of these masks until you stop somebody because they coming in the house and taking everything.
This is a perfect game to have that be like a white snow cap, like Army or something. That would have been
Yeah,
swag.
you can't wear the ski mask because we getting robbed. We getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? We getting invaded.
What's our
Home
last?
invasion.
I think we got one more. Don't we have one more? Oh, that's it. Okay, I thought they wanted to take out one of our hosts as well, but. No, there's no picks. They just want us to pick up. Max is the only one wearing black tonight.
I can put the kicks up.
I was going to say, that's probably the only thing.
You know, we're just in our Friday night SC gear. This is
Not that we got any new
team issue. This is team issue.
Not that we got any new gear from Drew, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's all good, though.
Hey,
You know,
Drew,
I make it work.
going after the boss on the show. Wise move.
All right, I'll scoot over into seat number 3. See you later.
The executive
We mutually
producer
agreed to
of
part ways.
Trojan's
That's what that
Tailgate
was.
Show. All right, we're going to move quickly on from that. Speaking of change, Colorado made a coaching change mid-season. We'll take a look at the Buffs next with our scouting report. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
We get to play in one of the great stadiums in the world. First thing you got to do to become a great program is protect home. The energy and atmosphere, and here you are right in the heart of LA. Nothing else like it in our game. There's nothing that compares to it in college football. We got to have that place packed, man. I mean, that place in that setting, this school, this history, come on, man. That's as good as it gets, so we're going to get it back.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
May today be a day for golf. Or at least for getting outside. May your ball always be easy to find. Oh, look, there it is. May the friends you choose and the hard seltzer you choose make up for the club you chose. And may one round for the ages lead to another. High noon. Sun's up.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
Win or lose, you're always a winner at Pollo Campero. Download the Campero app and get $10 credit towards your first purchase. Pollo Campero is the official chicken of USC Athletics. Night has fallen over the Coliseum. And we get a little close-up on Sua's J.
Hey.
Man, where's that camera?
Yeah.
That's quite the camera work.
Yo. Hey.
Seriously.
My cheeks are a lot better looking than.
Oh, my God. Back to
So
the
if y'all
cheeks.
ever want to get a, you know.
What you? Oh man.
OnlyFans.
Moving on quickly, here is this week's scouting report.
The Air Maxes.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics. Now, we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
Well, guys, this is the second team that USC has played this year that made a coaching change. So the second interim coach that USC will take on this season. It just was not going for Carl Dorrell. He actually had that pretty good year in the COVID year where they were all upset they weren't in the Pac-12 title game, but it went bad after that. Now Mike Sanford was promoted up into it. Have you seen anything really change since they made the coaching change?
Yeah, they beat Cal. So
I called that one. Has one more win than the old coach did. You did call that one. I was listening to you, and it was JB Long, right?
JB Long was great.
You guys were fired up. They stormed the field and the whole deal.
There was a whole whiteout storm the field. That was Colorado. They were on the 0-12 alert watch, and luckily they got the one win.
Yeah, former USC defensive line coach Chris Wilson was also fired, and so Gerald Chapman comes in. He's their defensive coordinator, got promoted up into that. They are dead last in the league in offense and defense, Sua.
Yeah, when your DB is leading or tied for leading your team in tackling at 68, that's not a good thing. That's not a good stat to have, because that means your DB is making tackles down the field. There is no stoppage of first and second level, so not a great stat to have. I mean, a testament to him for making all those plays, but not something you want to hear that your DB's doing.
Yeah, USC did have 11 tackles from its free safety to lead the way last week too. So that's the example. I mean, it's a similar kind of deal there, but it's just been happening all season long. They're just every statistical category across the board. Really, Colorado was at the bottom of this league, so it's a great opportunity. I will say, Max, I think JT Shrout gives them a little bit more firepower at the quarterback spot than what they had. We played in Boulder last year, just felt like they couldn't complete a forward pass. Shrout is not an accurate passer, but he's been over 200 yards the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the ball looks awfully pretty coming off his hand, but he's had a problem with some turnovers and a Tennessee transfer that they had high hopes for, but it hasn't really come together. They started a true freshman there for a few games. McCown, I know he practiced this week and was giving him the Caleb Williams look, but he's right up against the redshirt threshold, so all reports think that he's going to get pulled back. And unfortunate news on the Colorado side, too. Tyson, their true freshman receiver, who they were really excited about, he went down with a knee injury. But I mean, Shrout's, like I said, it's pretty coming off his hand, but the interceptions is what has reared its ugly head. And this Colorado roster is a roster that had for every team that wins in the transfer portal, there's a team that loses, and they lost 2 top corners. We have one of them. They lost Rice. We have him on this squad as well. So they have some players at receiver, but it's young across the board. A true freshman center, some true freshmen running back, so it's tough for Colorado, but hey, I will say they're playing scrappier under Mike Sanford rather than Carl Durrell and the new DC Gerald Chapman in his young 30s. He's an Ed Orgeron disciple, coach under Eddie O, so doing some good things. There's not a lot of talent there.
They wasn't using Brendan when he was there either.
Brendan Rice.
What you talking about? He had a couple 100-yard games.
Yeah, not a lot though, Max. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback to throw the ball to him last year. I mean,
I wasn't saying they were using him. I don't blame him for jumping ship, but it wasn't like he was just sitting on the bench.
He couldn't use him.
Yeah, there's no quarterback.
Bounce passes don't count in this sport, and that's a problem for some of these receivers last year. That's what we saw last year. This year, I do think their passing games are a little bit more threatening. Did anyone pop off the film for you, Sean, when you were either side of the ball when you were preparing for this?
Yeah, like Max said, 4 was Tyson was making plays. Jordan Tyson was making plays. That's unfortunate news for him. But I think this is more importantly a game about the Trojans figuring out some stuff that's going on with them. This is about the defense getting right. This is about getting some guys who maybe haven't gotten a lot of playing to get in. This is the game that you have to make those count. I remember circling games, and when I was playing, Arizona was pretty bad when I was playing. I remember that Arizona game, like, hey, man, I might have an opportunity to get 2-3 sacks right here. Everyone come out here, let's go eat. So those are the games where you turn into this. Obviously, first and foremost, win the game, but hey, let's pack some stats. If they're going to get out there, we're not going to be out there long. Let's put them out there.
Ooh, I found something that stands out to me about Colorado. Montana Lemonious Craig.
Yes, that is great.
His name, that stands out. That's
great name.
Key and Peele. That's like a Key and Peele reference.
I don't know. Life is imitating art, or art's imitating life. It's so great. That is a great name. And he's got 258 and a couple touches this season for him. So we'll see him out there and get to hear Pete Arbogast say that name during the broadcast.
Craig.
We come back. We're going to take a big picture look at the college football playoff situation, and USC is very much in the mix. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Smart Stop Self-Storage has state-of-the-art security systems operating 24 hours a day. So we see everything. Everything.
Wow, we're crunching tons of polygons here.
What's going on? Where's Regina?
Hi, I'm LaDonna. I invest in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like real-time CGI.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and more in the prospectus at Invesco.com.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Gorgeous frames by the great John McGillen, USC's team photographer, up on our stream right now. If you're not watching on the stream, as always, we're here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the USC Trojans app, with some gorgeous shots there by John as sunset. We had a nice one here inside the Coliseum, but it is dark now. We are in that part of the season, guys. This is championship season. The games are played in the dark even when they're in the evening, and the Trojans are right in the mix. The new college football playoff came out this week, and the Trojans sit at number 8 in the top 25, and they are just in the thick of things. Do you think number 8's about right, guys? Did you feel slighted by it? Do you feel like, hey, this is maybe a little bit better than what they're playing? How did you feel?
I think you shouldn't feel slighted. I think they're right where they should be. You know, the way they played against Cal, I'm sure. I don't even know if a lot of people got to watch. And the time slots they've been playing at have been rough for the Trojans.
Are checking the scores.
Sometimes you're just looking at the scores and say, hey, this is a little bit closer than I thought USC and Cal would be. But so I'm sure people are voting off that. So I don't think they got slighted at all. Obviously, LSU with the 2 losses there ahead of them. But I'm sure Sue will have something to say about that.
Here it comes.
It's just the losses have to mean something. I mean, come on now. A 2-loss LSU team that's lost to Florida State and Tennessee. Like, I understand they beat an Ole Miss team that was undefeated, and they beat Alabama in back-to-back weeks. Nevertheless, like, your record has to matter. If I'm undefeated and I just happen to play somebody who's unranked, and you play a top 5 team and you have 2 or 3 losses, your win should not jump me regardless. You have proven you can be beat. You know, it's just kind of inconsistent.
It'll be interesting, though, because if LSU is getting rewarded for a good loss, you can make the argument that we are as well, in that it's a late road game against Salt Lake that was, or against Utah in Salt Lake that was somewhat controversial. I think that's why we're ahead of UCLA right now, but I feel good at 8. I think there's a path there for the Pac-12 champ, assuming it's 1 loss, to get in there. And I know that's, some people are debating that. To me, it's pretty clear. I think a 1-loss Pac-12 champ gets in there. Tennessee at 5 is the team that's concerning, because there's a world where they're a 1-loss non-SEC champ that's in the hunt. But I think everything's in front of SC. Obviously, the UCLA game next week. Oregon playing Utah next week. Oregon has Washington this week. Still has Oregon State as well. So a lot of football to be played. But I really like not only where SC's at, but just the Pac-12 at large getting a bit in there.
You think USC gets in with TCU undefeated if USC ran the table?
I think TCU's going to lose. But no, TCU would be ahead of SC in that scenario. But I think TCU is going to lose. They have, Texas this week, Baylor next week, and they have to play Texas, Baylor, or Kansas State again. That's a tough road ahead.
I was going to make fun of you guys for going off script, but I missed something in the script. Let's get a deep dive. This is this week's Cardinal and Gold Report, and then we'll take a deep dive into it.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
Cardinal and Gold!
Presented by Pechanga Resort and Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Well, Max just ran through every rest of the topics we got here, but let's get to it because I do want to break this down. Max, you were sort of going down the path that I want to take you as well. What has to happen, right? What are the pieces that have to move? We start with the SEC, where they're going to put the standings up on the board here. I actually think the SEC is fairly clear. It looks like it's going to be Georgia and LSU in the SEC title game. Georgia has the tiebreaker over Tennessee now, plus a one-game lead. LSU has the tiebreaker over Alabama, plus a lead over them. They've beaten Ole Miss as well, so they're in good standing there in the West, so they should be fine. The question, I think, is that Tennessee team, and I like their chances, to be honest, sitting there as a one-loss team. I think the SEC is going to get 2 wins, so whether that's LSU winning the league and then Georgia comes with them, or Georgia beats LSU in the final and then that opens a spot for Tennessee, I think the SEC is going to get 2 out of the 4, which then ultimately opens up TCU as the big player in this whole thing. They play at Texas tomorrow. If Trojan fans are interested in the college football playoff, I would find those Sark bobblehead dolls or whatever he had when he was the coach, his Sark the Shark shirts when he was here, because you want to be Texas fans. It's 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Getting TCU out of the mix basically erases the Big 12. It erases the ACC sort of erased itself already. Now all of a sudden the Pac-12 champ it has a wide open door.
And in a weird way, you're rooting for Oregon as well. I think you need that Vegas matchup to end this season to be a top 10 matchup between two teams, and it's very cut and dry. To me, I think the strength of the Pac-12 right now is clearly higher than the ACC, but some in Big 12 country would maybe argue otherwise. You need that game to be a premier matchup. But like Jordan said, you need Georgia to keep on winning, be undefeated. If they lose, that's where some of the craziness could happen with the SEC having maybe 2, if not potentially even 3 teams trying to vie for a spot.
And obviously Michigan, Ohio State, I think that's pretty cut and dry. The winner's going to go. The question is, does the loser still have a chance? They didn't play a lot on their schedules this year, so they're not necessarily going to get the wins. The irony is the Pac-12 this year probably gives you more opportunities for quality wins than the Big Ten does, and the Trojans have it laid out for them. With UCLA, with Notre Dame, and with the Pac-12 championship, they'll have more than enough quality wins if they can run the table.
Yeah, this is getting ready for fun football, guys. We've been in a little bit of a lull here with Trojan football. Not playing the greatest of opponents here. I mean, tighter games than maybe we have liked, but it's been a little sparse as far as opponents on the other side. It's going to be fun to get in the UCLA mode, getting in Notre Dame mode here at the end of the year. It's starting to get exciting here at the end.
That's another thing, too. Notre Dame now in the top 25. Huge. So what?
That win over Clemson was massive for a bunch of reasons.
A month ago, I thought Notre Dame was just straight trash, and now they're a top 25 team, which, hey, the knock on us right now is no quality wins. That's what national media is saying. We need UCLA and Notre Dame to keep winning out.
He's all mad. Sue is mad. Sue is mad.
I just don't understand it. It's just the disrespect. Like you said it, Michigan and Ohio State, where are their quality? Where are their quality wins? Even their conference as a whole. Their conference doesn't even match up with the Pac-12 this year. The Pac-12 is arguably one of the tougher conferences this year. We've had 3 top 10 teams. We should have 4 teams in the top 11 right now, but we don't get that respect. So when we lose, we drop 20 spots, and then when we win, it's not that impressive because it's annoying. It's annoying because we don't get to play by the same rules. So I just hate hearing it.
All right, we're going to change the rules here a little bit too. We're actually going to get to the head coach Lincoln Riley next. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, where you can be an impact player, a clutch hitter, or a wild card. No matter what your game is, the excitement and relaxation you're looking for is here. So get back to the fun and play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino.
Fires one, slices and dices.
Pulls up for 3 and knocks it through.
Another power play score.
USC superior in the sand.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
City of Champions, Los Angeles. It has crowned another. The MLS Cup was won for the first time by LAFC last Saturday. We are inside the bowl as well. I can hear that, so scan the QR code if you want to join the Trojan Tailgate Show. We've got two new guys. They both play the same position and somehow made a huge impact in the same game last week. The two keepers, Maxime Crépeau and John McCarthy. Welcome, guys, to the Trojan Tailgate Show. Welcome to the Coliseum, and congratulations on winning the MLS Cup. I was there. I was in the stands cheering for you guys last week. To describe the emotions, first Maxime and then John described, it's just a rare occurrence where what happened, and it happened on the biggest stage.
Well, first, thanks for having us. At the end of the day, we're champs, so it's amazing. Yeah. And I was able to start the game. Johnny was able to finish it, so it's all about teamwork. And to be fair, we're just really happy to bring the championship home. Yeah.
How was this week of celebration? You win a big game like that, man. The whole city's on fire. You guys are fired up. The city's fired up. It's happening right here next door. What's this week been like for you guys?
I'll start with Johnny on this one because I was in the hospital and then back home. So
yeah, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind. Just lifting a trophy was mad in itself, and then the after party scenes, and then the parade the next day, and now being here, like, you can't picture this. It's just been unreal. It really has been.
Now, congrats on the win again. You guys are champs. What's it like playing in that type of – what was it like at the stadium? Because I was here on the field, and while you guys were kicking the penalties, I can hear when you guys made it or when you guys made the save before the TV even showed it. So what is, like, that championship atmosphere? The last time I've even seen a trophy like that was high school. So what's it like being the champion?
I'm in the same boat in high school. I was 15 last time I lifted a trophy. So this is just – it's surreal. It's something you dream of. I'm sure Maxie would say the same thing. So, like – it's crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In the wildest dream, you look at that trophy, that silverware right there, and you worked your whole career to get there, and now we're able to lift it. So pretty proud for sure.
Yeah.
Maxime, how did you follow the end of the game? So for people that didn't see it, Maxime, basically had to save the game by taking a red card. He breaks his leg in the process, gets a red card while on the stretcher, which is brutal. And then at some point, you're on the way to the hospital? I mean, how are you even watching your buddy, take the PKs here?
Yeah, in the ambulance, it was chaos. I was in pain. So I was with my wife and one of our therapists, and we couldn't find the game. I didn't have my phone. I was in all gear, and I got my wife and my therapist's phone, and we were trying to get some feed. Not able to. So we were just refreshing the page, and we saw obviously the Garrett's Bell equalizer.
Oh my God!
And then the man of the hour, my guy John, who finished the job.
John, talk about those saves at the end, man. You were able to pull the team through there with those big stops. What is that like? What is that experience like, knowing the whole stadium's watching you? It's all coming down to this. What's that experience like?
It was like surreal, man. It was a dream. That's something that you picture your whole life growing up. Like, when's the moment coming? Where's the moment going to be at? And then to be able to do that in that situation for, like, the city of LA, and then what happened to Maxie was, like, crazy in itself. And then to just step in and have, like, a crazy scenario like that, end up like that. And then
is that how you drew it up in the morning? Like, my hand might go down, and I might have to go in there in the morning. Like, how are you getting ready for that situation? I would have been, like, on the sideline, like, with a hot dog, like, all right, let's go, team. Like, how are you ready for that moment?
Yeah, I mean, Maxie knows us, and we prepare every weekend like we're going to play. We train every weekend, whether we're going to be a starter, whether we're going to be a backup. We train the same exact way. We push each other. It's great competition. We have a great relationship. And whoever name got called on the weekend, I knew he was ready, and I think he believed in me that I would be ready at some point.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's just how we worked all season long, and that's how we hold ourselves.
So your boy goes down. You run up. The entire season is relying on you. Nobody else. You're the most important player in the nation at this point, at that point of the game. What is like the strategy? Is it just block one? Or is it I'm blocking all of these? I'm a GOAT, I'm a block all. Like what's going through? What is the strategy to do what you did?
So Maxie and I had a little pregame talk. So we had some ideas and we talked about something, and then we have a game sheet with like this data and everything with all the PKs. I didn't want to look at it anymore. I think I looked at it enough. I watched pregame in the hot tub. So like once it gets to that moment, I turned to my goalkeeper coach Oka, and I said I got a good feeling about it, and he goes, I like that. So the belief was, I truly believed I was going to save one. So like I just gave the team a little bit of confidence, and then it turned into like, oh crap, they missed the first one. Then I got one, and then I was fortunate enough to get another one and just absolutely party.
I've seen a lot of penalty shootouts. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone with it ended in 0 for the other team, at least at this level. I mean, it's always advantage to the offense, and they shanked that first one for you, and then you saved the last two, and it was just an incredible atmosphere. And now it's you guys' turn. You got to turn the atmosphere up in here tonight. You're going to get the fans going. Looking forward to it. We got the MLS Cup in front of us. Congratulations,
we need to
guys.
get it going like you guys got it going over there,
That's
man. That is one of the most fun atmospheres. If you guys haven't been to a LAFC game, get in there because that place is rocking. That's a fun time in there, man.
Let's bring the whole 3252 to the Coliseum. That's what we need for sure. But we appreciate having you guys. You got some teammates here too, so celebrating LAFC here on a Friday night. Thanks, guys. We will have the head coach Lincoln Riley next. Stay tuned with us. If you're inside the bowl as well, you're watching the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
It's time for the Student Veteran Interview, brought to you by IBEW 11, NECA, and Pipe Trades. Together, these groups proudly support USC. Fight on!
Welcome to this week's Student Vet Interview, and I've got Juan Bernal, and we appreciate you for joining us, and we thank you so much for your service. You served in the Marine Corps. Tell us where you've been and what you've done.
Yeah, most of the time I was stationed in 29 Palms, California, which I served with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division. I did one combat deployment to Afghanistan with them. And the rest of the time I spent at Okinawa, Japan, which I did more exercises with different countries out there.
And now you're back and you're here at USC going to the Leventhal School of Accounting. What do you want to do with that degree?
I want to explore my opportunities in the accounting field, and I want to get a job with Ernst & Young, one of the big 4 firms, and pursue my passion into forensics accounting.
All right. Well, you're here and you're on center stage as USC takes on Colorado. You're in charge of getting the big dub tonight, and it's on Veterans Day to boot. So what do you have to say to all the veterans and the men and women that have served side by side with you, and as we give them thanks here tonight?
Well, yeah, for everybody out there, all the veterans, thank you for your service and all the hard work that you guys done. And yeah, we're here to support the USC football team, and I know that we're going to win.
We sure are. All right, thanks so much. Juan Bernal will be out there on the field. We thank you so much for your service and thank all the veterans. Juan Bernal is this week's Student Vet Interview. Back inside the Coliseum on a Friday night. We're getting closer to kickoff here. Colorado has some players taking the field just ahead of the Trojans skill players.
Well, they talking in the tunnel right now.
Oh, look at that, Sean Cody. You held up the trophy, man. I didn't even see that.
Man, it's been a while since I held a trophy. Yeah, sure. It was heavy.
Those are pretty nice trophies, and there the guys are that'll lead the team out of the tunnel. I think a couple more players here as well. What's
good with Colorado? Why they acting like they are undefeated powerhouse? They talking trash in the tunnel. They met in the middle of the
Anthony
field.
Hankerson's been getting extra carries. He's feeling himself.
They're feeling snappy. They must have seen all the trash you were talking on the earlier segment.
I had me a bison burger for lunch today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about no buffs.
Let's find out about Lincoln Riley in this week's Prescription to Win interview with Keely Orr.
Who's going to teach you how to play football?
My football coach.
Let's go!
This is your Prescription to Win. Brought to you by USC Pharmacy, proud partner of USC Athletics. At USC Pharmacy, it's all about your health. Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu. And now, here is head coach Lincoln Riley.
I'm Keely Orr here with head coach Lincoln Riley. Coach, it's the first time your staff prepared for a weekday game. How do you think your team responded?
I think, well, it's a challenge. You get so used to doing things a certain way on a certain schedule, and all of a sudden you've got to make the same amount happen in 24 hours less. And it is a challenge, especially here at the end of the year. You know, as you've gone on, you've played a lot of games, a lot of tough, hard-fought games. So we've had to adjust, but we've laid out a good plan for the guys. I feel like they've responded this week, and excited for some Friday night football.
You describe quarterback Caleb Williams as one of the most valuable players in college football this season. What does he prove to you as far as value, both on and off the field?
Well, yeah, he's been a great leader for this program from day one, from the day he walked in the door, and I think had a sense that he was this program and team. We were going to need that from him and from that position, and I think he's responded. And then, yeah, I've been proud of the way he's evolved as a player, especially over the last several weeks where. He's done it, had to do his job along a different kind of cast at times. We've had a lot of musical chairs on the offensive line, the skill positions, certainly the receivers, that's been the case. And he's continued to play at a very high level and has given us a chance to win every single week. And that's what you need out of that position and all you can ask out of it.
Alex Grinch has been critical of the defense so far. What would you like to see from them against Colorado?
Well, we've got to be careful confusing critical with we expect a lot of our defense. And we wouldn't be here sitting in the position we are without a defense that's had some incredibly bright moments. And we've frankly won several games this year that if our defense didn't play at a high level, we would not have won. So we've played at a high level. We've been inconsistent at times, especially here over the last few games. And we know we're capable of more. We know we need to be better. So there's no lack of confidence, or there's no, well, all of a sudden we can't do it, or getting down. It's more, we know we can be better. We know we're going to need to be better going forward, and we want to push to get to that. So I think Alex has been, just like every other coach has been with their positions or their units or the entire team, right? It's you want to play your very best here at the end, and we know we got to continue to improve, and you've got to continue to push the guys to do that. And Alex has had a history of doing that very well over his career. And he's pushing our guys defensively in a way that they need to be pushed, and excited to see us respond.
You mentioned those high expectations. You said that there's a hunger for the team to play a full 60 minutes. How do you do that on Friday?
Well, it's there's nothing magical about it, right? I mean, I think, you're able to gain some momentum and maintain it. It's sides continually rising at the same time, defensively having a great series and special teams doing it and offense doing it, and you get in a kind of a cycle and you keep it going. And one thing we've really emphasized for the guys is, being in position is not just enough. We've got to have 11 guys out there with the playmaker mentality because and last week really showed up, we're in position quite a bit. And when you're in position, are you going to make every single one? Maybe not, but we need to make our fair share. And so that's been a big point of emphasis. It's not just be in the right spot. We don't need placeholders, right? We need playmakers. And we've really emphasized that with our guys this week. And that's what we need to see on the field against Colorado.
All righty, Coach. Thanks for the time and good luck.
You got it. Thanks.
This is Keely Orr, and this has been your Prescription to Win interview.
We don't need placeholders. We need playmakers. Good line there from Lincoln Riley. We've been teasing it. Let's get to some questions. We love when people jump into the show. Zach Stewart wants to know, if you were Grinch for a day, what changes are you making to the defense, Sean?
What changes would I make to the defense? Man, I think it's a personnel thing more than anything. So changes, I think that's where he's gotten in trouble a little bit with changes. It's trying to find the right change has been the hard part. It's kind of a personnel issue. He hasn't been able to get his guys in yet, and I think that's kind of what it is.
River with the 47. Did Sua ever find that indoor par 3?
Yeah, I did. I had to go all the way to San Diego.
Where is an indoor par 3?
Yeah, in San Diego. I'll take you one day.
Let me know.
How many holes?
Because you always be filming at the range.
Well,
I got to know where this is at. You're like, this swing's looking right.
It's not a par 3. It's like they have like 2 holes you can play in. It's really a range.
So down.
But it's indoor, and it was raining, so it worked out.
Sua, did you have an answer to the if you were Grinch for a day question?
I would take the Rams approach. I would take the top down. We're going to have to zone it up because Sean said it's personnel. There's not much you can do, and you don't want to open up another leak in the boat. So at this point, make an offense drive down the field, and if it's a 6-minute drive that ends in 3 points, that's better than giving them 15 possessions a game because we can't stop them and they're scoring so fast.
And they might make a mistake, too. The offenses at this level are prone to making mistakes. Make them go 12 plays.
Exactly. Go 12 to 15 plays, and at that point, because our offense is so explosive, they'll have to pass even though we're playing pass. So at this point, I don't think it's going to be stopping anybody, more like game managing.
One look I have liked, too, and it's the void that Eric Gentry has, is when we go dime and Kalen Bullock rolls to the middle of the field, he rolls down. That's the void that Gentry usually manned. That, to me, is a look that, it's confusing me just watching the all-22 footage of what defensive structure they're trying to give. So I like that look. Go back to Kalen Bullock and allow him to make a play.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti next, coming up on a Friday night inside the Coliseum.
Sometimes faster isn't always better. Like when you're getting a tattoo. Or saying I love you on the first date. Or putting together certain Swedish furniture.
But when it comes to getting in and out of the airport, faster is always better. And at Ontario International Airport, you can have a stress-free experience from the curb to the gate. It's the least we can do.
No one loved hot chicken more than my friend Sam. And this juicy, hot, spiced-to-order Dave's Hot Chicken would have been his favorite of all time if it wasn't for his other passion, driving with his head out the sunroof.
Stick your head out, Wiggles!
Wiggles, no! Please don't mess up and die before you eat Dave's.
I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere. There's no place I'd rather be. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere, and time don't matter to me, 'cause I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Turned up inside the Coliseum for a little Friday night party. USC versus Colorado's coming up next. One final segment here, the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Max Brown, Sua Craven, Sean Cody. I am Jordan Moore, and these are our picks for the Old Dominion Best in the Game.
The Best in the Game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics. helping the world keep promises.
Well, last week, Sua's claiming victory, but he always claims victory.
I had a solid week, just saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, Max right there. Tui Pelotu, 2 sacks.
Oh, yeah,
Sua,
that's easily Tui.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sua had Taj Washington at 100 yards and a touchdown. Sean tried with Raleek Brown. It just didn't happen.
I was frustrated as well.
Mekhi Blackman, man, he'd be a good pick this week. I think somebody picked him this week, so we will see. But he didn't get his hands on the ball much either. All right, Max, kick it off.
That's my guy, Mekhi Blackman, right there.
The revenge game?
Revenge game. Playing his old team. Last week, Christian Gonzalez, who was another Colorado transfer, had 2 picks against Trout. Trout gives the rock away. I think it's going to happen again. Blackman gets an INT tonight, and he's the player of the game.
Sua?
I'm a DB. And like they say, there's nothing more dangerous than an animal that's backed in the corner. Well, Sierra Wright is an animal that's backed in the corner. Had a rough week last week. Right now, as a DB, that mentality is nobody beats me. So if I'm him, I'm stepping up and getting ready to have a big game so there are no more questions about who that number 2 corner is because I'm a dog and you got to be a dog at DB. So Sierra is my player of the game, and then we'll be 3 in a row.
Big Daddy?
I'm going to have to see my pick because I don't remember who I picked.
Oh, wow.
And I know now it's Kyle Ford because I can see it on the screen right now. Yeah, big Kyle Ford. I want the wide receiver to make some plays tonight. The big daddy with the big arms. I think he's on the revenge game. Last week, not really targeted too much. I think he comes back tonight. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time tonight with the way this game might end up.
And my pick is Bryson Shaw, and I sort of went the same route that Max did because I kind of feel like there might be some picks in the air tonight, and Bryson Shaw's sitting back there playing center field.
Watch it be Kalen Bullock. Watch it. We have all the other guys.
We've already picked Kalen, I feel like, so we circled it, but
I still have my Caleb. I'm holding my Caleb Williams card still.
Oh, you do?
Wait, there's only so many weeks.
Card.
I have my Caleb Williams card too.
Max, you have so many players. You've only picked 3 players.
Exactly. I got the whole roster.
You're going to run out for sure. I'm looking out at warm-ups. I see 2 4s out there. That tells me Mario Williams is at least in uniform. We've been told Jordan Addison's going to play. Raylan Goforth might play, but no Eric Gentry. So those are the big injury notes coming up. But this is a great opportunity, especially for Mario and Jordan, if they can both get out there, shake off some of that rust, because there's going to be no time to be rusty next week against UCLA and what everyone expects to be an epic showdown at the Rose Bowl. All right, that's time for us to wrap up our show. As always, it's been a blast, guys. This is the second to last Trojans Tailgate Show of the season. But we'll have a big Notre Dame one on Thanksgiving week, and we're going to shed a tear together. Thanks to all our crew, Drew DeHart, our executive producer, Gia Lares, and Rick Cutler up in the booth. Our engineer down here with us is Ben Conroy. Back in the studio is Adam Miller, and thanks to Daniel Zarunian and the whole group. Coming up next, it's USC versus Colorado for Sean Cody, Sua Cravens, Max Brown. I am Jordan Moore. Let's get ready for some Trojans football on AM 790 KBC and the USC Trojans Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video board for an important announcement about stadium emergency procedures. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you may be directed or required to evacuate. Please follow instructions and proceed in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit. Please note that this exit may be either above or below your seating location. If the nearest exit is below your seat location, and is the field itself, you should proceed onto the Coliseum field and exit through either the Coliseum tunnel to the west or the peristyle end to the east. The peristyle steps are available for emergency exiting. If the closest exit is above your seating location, please proceed to the nearest exit tunnel. If exiting through one of the upper tunnels, please then access the nearest staircase to street level. Do not walk along the upper concourse. Once outside the seating area, vacate the Coliseum immediately via the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 200 and 300 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower will locate emergency exit stairs at each end and center of the building. Please exit to the concourse level and immediately proceed outside to the nearest gate. Guests seated in the 400, 500, 600, and 700 levels of the Scholarship Club Tower access emergency exit stairs at each end of the building and proceed to the upper concourse. Please then access the nearest staircase to street level and exit the nearest gate. Please proceed as directed in a calm, orderly fashion. We thank you for your attention. USC has assigned a high priority to assuring all athletic events are conducted in a safe and enjoyable atmosphere. In compliance with the Trojan Spirit Code, please respect all fans in attendance. For immediate assistance during the game, please speak with the closest usher or security personnel. To report any incidents of fan misconduct, please call the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Fan Behavior Hotline. That number is 213-263-4007. Or you can text Coliseum with your seat location and a description of the situation to 213-263-4007. Once again, that number is 213-263-4007. We do thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy the game. Fans, be sure to sign into the USC network. Fight on for faster service. Fans, be a part of our pregame light show tonight, presented by Coca-Cola. Go ahead and take your cell phones out right now. Scan the QR code on the screen to download the USC Trojans Game Day app. Touch the menu in the upper left-hand corner, and then select Trojan Lights. Now be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions, and go to the Waiting to Sync screen and enjoy the show. Fans, go ahead and snap a selfie, tag it with the hashtag USC Selfie, and you just might see yourself up on the video board during tonight's game. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at USC_athletics. And now, let's take it down to our DJ booth. Let's check in on DJ Malski.
Trojan fans, how you feeling tonight? I need to hear you out there. Again, my name is DJ Malski. We're going to have some fun tonight. Who's ready to beat the Buffaloes tonight? Who's ready? Well, you know our team, we need you loud and proud, all right? Somebody shout, fight on! Let's get to it. Let's beat the Buffaloes.
We have the maker mindset.
The Pac-12 is very competitive and very diverse.
As a track athlete, as an athlete in an Olympic sport, the Pac-12 is the place to be.
We would not be where we are today without our coaches, our teammates, without our trainers, without our professors.
It's a blessing to be able to wear that Pac-12 logo on my jersey and represent the conference in all walks of life.
We are memory makers.
Olympian makers. Change makers.
The Pac-12.
Called the Conference of Champions for a reason.
Nothing is more important than this snap, this blitz, this drive. Nothing is more important than taking the field each week alongside your brother, going out in battle, moving the chains, surviving the gauntlet, raising the hard way. Nothing is more important than this game. And the next game is on Pac-12 Networks.
If you missed the biggest Pac-12 football event last season, you won't want to miss it now. The Pac-12 is bringing high-energy football, entertainment, and fun back to Allegiant Stadium for the 2022 Pac-12 Football Championship game. It's a new season with top 25 AP-ranked teams and a new championship game format where the best two teams in the Pac-12 meet and compete. The 2022 Pac-12 Football Championship game, Friday, December 2nd in Las Vegas. Don't miss it.
And we stand today on the edge of a new frontier. The frontier of unknown opportunities and perils. The frontier of unfilled hope and unfilled threats. The new frontier is here, whether we seek it or not. It would be easier to shrink from that new frontier, to look to the safe mediocrity of the past. We are not here to curse the darkness. We are here to light a candle.
Hi, yes, I need a locksmith. 3 hours. Guess I'll be right here.
Oh, nice. 2% cash back, right?
And it is saving the day right now.
Good afternoon.
It was.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa Card. That's real life ready.
Shore here with head coach Lincoln Riley for your Prescription to Win interview. Coach, it's the first time your staff had to prepare for a short week. How do you think your team responded?
I think our guys handled it well. It's a great opportunity. We don't get many times to be under the lights on Friday night, so we'll see how we respond.
You talked about improving every single game. What are you hoping to see from your team tonight?
Just to keep growing. We put ourselves in an unbelievable position. Everything in front of us, we need to go take advantage of it.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
Hey Trojan fans, welcome to Joint Forces Day. Thank you to all those serving at home and overseas. We thank you for your service.
We're here to celebrate our active military members and veterans. We thank you guys so much for your service. Hope you guys enjoy the day and fight on.
We salute our military and veterans for their service to this country. Thank you and fight on.
Welcome to Joint Forces Day. Thank you to all those serving at home and overseas. We thank you for your service.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Airlines field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for tonight's Veterans Day matchup featuring the visiting Colorado Buffaloes and the home team, your University of Southern California Trojans, home of 134 national championships. We hope you enjoy the entire game day experience tonight, and we remind you to please follow the Trojan Spirit Code by showing respect for all fans in attendance. Thank you, and fight on. Fans, be a part of our pregame light show tonight presented by Coca-Cola. Go ahead and take your cell phones out right now, scan the QR code on the screen, and download the USC Trojans Game Day app. Touch the menu in the upper left-hand corner and then select Trojan Lights. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions and go to the Waiting to Sync screen and enjoy the show.
Here we go.
Members of the Trojan family, we are proud to present the Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band. Band, take the field.
I'll tell you which section.
With drum major CPMCA and IBEW NICA of LA County, proud supporters of USC athletics and our military veterans. Tonight we honor this week's student veteran of the game, Juan Bernal. A Los Angeles native who served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 10 years, Juan was deployed to the Philippines, Thailand, South Korea, Australia, and Afghanistan, and contributed to Operation Enduring Freedom from 2012 to 2013. He was then stationed in Okinawa, Japan, where he successfully managed his transmission communication company, securing cryptographic information. Juan is now a first-generation undergrad in the Leventhal School of Accounting and plans to pursue his master's in accounting soon after graduating. Please welcome us and join Juan Bernal as our student veteran of the game and thanking him for his service. Please rise as we welcome the director of the Golden Buffalo Marching Band, Dr. Matthew Duckendorf, as he leads the Trojan Marching Band in the playing of our national anthem. Trojans mascot, Traveler. The Spirit of Troy, the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band. Fans, once again, you can be a part of our pregame night show tonight presented by Coca-Cola. Go ahead, take out your cell phones and scan the QR code on the screen and download the USC Trojans Game Day app. Touch the menu in the upper left-hand corner and then select Trojan Lights. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions and go to the waiting to sync screen and enjoy the show.
It was on the Coca-Cola, yeah?
Who's ready to win tonight? Who's ready to beat the Buffalo? Who's ready to beat them tonight? Ow! What section is going to be the loudest section tonight? What section? I see the dance moves. I need some noise right now. If you're ready for our fellas to come out, we need some noise right now. Come on, get loud, get loud, get loud.
Take
Take out your cell phones right now. Scan the QR code on the screen to join our cell phone light show presented by Coca-Cola during tonight's intro video. Be sure to enable microphone and camera permissions. Hold up your phone and enjoy the show. And now, please turn your attention to the tunnel and your tunnel captains for tonight's game, the 2022 MLS Cup champion, LAFC.
What's up, everybody? You got the 2022 LAFC MLS Cup champions in the house. You got Maxi Crepeau, John McCarthy, Ryan Hollingshead, Ilie Sanchez. Let's make some noise! Said, let's make some noise! 3, 2, 1.
He's in the end zone. Touchdown, USC! And the Trojans will win the ball game.
When USC is rolling, America is watching.
If you rollin' with me, my brother, just know we going past the peak, my brother. I ain't playing, but they see I leveled up. They fed up, I don't act like I'm fed enough. Word is mine, I ain't claiming a piece. Throne is mine, but I stay on my feet. Locked and loaded, I pray that you get low. If you rollin', I pray you don't get cold. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Backing it, backing up. Backing it.
Brother, now I got them all shook, brother. I ain't playing by the book, brother. They been reading what it took, brother. Soon enough we'll be understood, brother. Started doing everything I could, now I'm doing what you can in case you missed up. Is you ready for war, my brother? Is you ready for war, my brother?
Let's go! USC wins it. Trojans force the turtle. Gets up in the pocket, throws for the home run. Touchdown! Diving for the pylon and scores. Is you ready for war, my brother?
Now taking the field, your USC Trojans.